The Texas Parks and Wildlife television series is funded in part by a grant from the Wildlife and Sport Fish Restoration Program. Through your purchases of hunting and fishing equipment and motorboat fuels, over $50 million in conservation efforts are funded in Texas each year. And by Texas Parks and Wildlife Foundation, helping to keep Texas wild with the support of proud members across the state. Find out more at tpwf.org. Additional funding provided by Ram Trucks. Guts, glory, Ram. Coming up on Texas Parks and Wildlife.
It's 6 a.m. here at the Franklin Mountain State Park, and we're here to hike with our dogs.
They're over 300 million years old. They can date these guys back to the time of the dinosaurs.
What I really like about mobile storytelling is that it's a lot easier to stay connected to where you are and what you're doing. Interviewing people
Texas Parks and Wildlife, a television series for all outdoors.
It's 6 a.m. here at the Franklin Mountain State Park, and we're here to hike with our dogs. So today we're doing our Bark in the Park hike, introducing new hikers, both dogs and people, to beginner-friendly trails. All the dogs that come in the morning are all starting to get adjusted to this new environment. It's going to be a lot of barking, a lot of excitement. We let the dogs get it all out of their system, get to know each other, and it doesn't take much time at all for the dogs to settle down and make some new friends. So today we're starting at 6 in the morning. We wanted to be able to beat the heat since we're still kind of in our hot summer season. We chose the Lower Sunset Trail. This is going to be about 2.5 miles, and it's slightly on the more advanced level of a beginner level trail. So there's going to be some incline, there's going to be some rough spots, but for the most part this is a pretty beginner friendly hike that we can take. It circumnavigates one of the ridges here, and it's really beautiful. Adoptable dogs will come out, and so today we're actually going to have 7 adoptable dogs join us. People love dogs for the most part, and you really see some camaraderie happen out there on the trail. A good rule of thumb for hiking out with your pets is stopping every 30 minutes or so. We'll stop and assess situations to make sure that the dogs are still behaving and enjoying themselves. Then be thinking a little bit more about your dog's nutrition and health. So you want to make sure that you check your pet's pads. At least offer your dog some water or treat. Because we do have wildlife out here, the pets are to remain on leashes throughout the time that they're out here in the park, in case they scare something unexpected like a rattlesnake. We're protecting the wildlife, but we're also protecting our pets. Usually we talk about leave no trace in regards to people, but dogs, since they're our responsibility, we want to make sure that they're leaving no trace as well. Sometimes you got to carry that with you throughout the hike. Sometimes you want a little bit more of an adventure. Some people just like to have some of that social interaction. It's a fun environment, it's a learning environment, and we do this at a slow pace so everybody can have a good time. Even if people aren't looking for the tips or the suggestions, just having the opportunity to hike with some other dogs, get some good training in, or even maybe hang out in the back and just enjoy the scenery, you're always welcome.
My name is Dale Blassingame. I'm instructor for this course. I'm incredibly happy that everyone is here. Thank you for getting here on time.
Dale Blassingame is a journalism instructor at Texas State University.
So that's the first project.
This weekend, he's taking his class to Garner State Park in the Texas Hill Country.
I'm Julie, electronic media senior. This is my second time here.
Dale is experimenting with a new approach to telling stories.
And that will have to be shot and edited solely on your phone, all right?
That's a world away from traditional classrooms. During the week, Dale teaches the basics of news writing.
Okay.
But chances are these students don't get their news from TV, which is why Dale is diving into today's way of sharing stories, to see if a generation tied to technology can convince their peers to look up from their screens. For many of Dale's students, this is their first time in a state park.
This mobile storytelling class was one that I pitched because it marries my two loves, which are technology and being outdoors.
Dale is the guy who visited all 95 Texas state parks in 1 year, many with his dog Lucy. Now he wants to help students find their own stories outdoors.
A lot of the modules that we've talked about are composing a shot and how to interview people and how to tell a story. Those skills are still really important. I mean, that is what storytelling is all about. But now we're learning to do it with much simpler and more compact and more mobile tools.
Next.
Well, simple may be a relative term. The university is providing extra equipment to turn phones into storytelling devices.
Y'all know how to work this thing?
They're going to be working primarily with their phone, shooting on their phone and then editing on their phone as well.
Hello.
These skills are just how it's done now.
Feed it down their shirt and out.
Texas Parks and Wildlife has said it needs help getting college-age students into the parks. So that's what a lot of our video projects are going to focus on. Okay, you ready?
The first story of the day goes out on Snapchat, a social media application popular for its temporary nature.
Hi, I'm Katie.
And I'm Di.
We're from the School of Journalism and Mass Comm, and we're taking over the Texas State Snapchat.
Snapchat is a little difficult to explain, but it's a social media platform where you can share instant photos and videos.
I'm here with a group of 17 students who do video projects at Garner State Park.
What I really like about mobile storytelling is that it's a lot easier to stay connected to where you are and what you're doing, and also be able to take a little piece of that back with you, back to the cities.
So we're going to be interviewing people and learning about their experiences with the outdoors.
With Snapchat, I don't really have to think too much and just kind of share what's going on right now.
Students are let loose to find some more stories.
Yeah.
And I'm just really hoping for some creativity. I'm hoping they're not timid or scared to go up and talk to people.
What's been your favorite part so far?
Well, actually, we just did a hike.
Try some stuff and know that it might fail, but at least we tried it and work around it and problem solve.
The wind was kind of harsh, though.
Ashley and Tori are looking for stories that will inspire people to visit parks.
We're using social media as a way to get people like my age getting active, going outside.
I am 22 years old, and I'm from Houston, Texas.
Awesome, me too. And our generation kind of likes to sit on their phone and watch Netflix.
That's my first time going camping.
First time?
Yeah.
I think people just need to know, have a little push, like go outside, it's gonna be fun, I promise. You're not gonna die or anything crazy like that. Is it okay if we interview you? Just like a couple questions really quick. It's really hard to approach a complete stranger.
Meanwhile, another team is focusing on fun things couples can do in state parks.
I haven't explored state parks, and I know a lot of my friends haven't either. So we're trying to catch the ones that do come out and see what attracts them to it. Would y'all be interested in doing a 5-minute interview about state parks and why y'all like to come? Or no, it's okay. It is hard, but I think you just have to do it. If I thought about it and got nervous every time I did it, I don't think I would have any interviews, and I probably wouldn't be in this field.
As the day goes on, Tori and Ashley run into a bit of a snag.
Our,
we didn't have our mics on.
Yeah, our mic wasn't turned on and we lost all of our video. So we're kind of bummed, but we're gonna move forward.
For some students, the best way to get a story is to do a little first-hand research.
I want to help foster that next generation of people who enjoy our lands here in Texas, to connect with them on a really personal level, because they consider that that is their base.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
I do not know.
A trip to Garner wouldn't be complete without a hike up Old Baldy.
This was a brand new experience for me, and I was hands and knees for a lot of it, getting up and down.
You okay? I'm just getting your feet.
Oh, okay.
And hers wasn't the only struggle.
I'm dying, you know. I'm dying, Sophie.
I'm gonna die.
Getting to the summit of the trail is not the end of it. It's the whole journey up and down that is what is important and what is good to reflect on.
The view from the top doesn't disappoint.
It's really beautiful. My accounts will definitely start being filled with more videos and photos like this.
Taking it all in. Just taking it all in when we can.
After a long day, the storytellers kick back and enjoy some time around the very first storytelling device.
All right, we are roasting marshmallows, and we got one flaming.
I do not know.
Back on campus, it's time to settle up.
They had to answer the question of why should young people visit our state parks or get outside. The cool thing with that is, for a lot of these students, this was their first time in a state park. So who better to tell young people to get out into the parks than somebody who's experiencing it for the first time and kind of witnessing that magic.
Hey, what's up, you guys? My name is Malcolm Gibbs, and I am a senior advertising student at Texas State University.
It's such a beautiful day outside. Would you not rather be outside doing something? You could go fishing, you could go on a hike.
You really can't understand how important it is and how beautiful it is out here and all of the experiences that you can have.
And it's also really cheap.
Being out here is just a good break from life.
I think college-age students are a lot more introspective than people give them credit for, and they're looking for ways to connect. And so I am more than willing to do anything and everything I can to get people out into the parks and spread that message.
I'm really excited for my friends to see all the stories I told this weekend. If I could relive this weekend over and over again every weekend, I would, definitely. This won't be my last trip to a state park for sure.
On a cold morning in northeast Texas, these biologists are assembling a radio tower on land to help restore a rare fish to the water.
Today we're putting up a radio telemetry tower at one of our cooperating landowners' ranch.
Helping the fish has required no small amount of effort from a number of players.
We have 2.6 miles of river frontage. We are in the cattle business, and we're changing our management scheme to help the fish here in the bayou.
Lift it up. This is one of the 3 towers that we're putting up. Each tower has antennas pointed both upstream and downstream, so we're able to tell which direction the fish are coming from.
Black kitty.
That way, high enough, or you can roll it.
So why would ranchers, nonprofits, and government agencies go to all this trouble for a fish?
I've never seen a paddlefish.
Especially a fish most folks have never seen. Well, the paddlefish is one of a kind.
Paddlefish are very unique. They're kind of the hodgepodge of the fish world. They have no scales like a catfish. They have a skeleton made completely out of cartilage like a shark, but yet they're a filter feeder like a whale.
They may look like mythical creatures, but Wayne Heaton sees paddlefish every day at the Texas Freshwater Fisheries Center, just down the road in Athens.
I love these fish. They're my favorite fish here, and most people, when they walk up to this exhibit, have no idea what these fish are. When they open their mouth and it looks like a giant net, That's exactly really what it is those gill rakers form a net to catch all the plankton, which are basically small bugs in the water. Now, they're still on the threatened species list here in Texas, but in rivers, say like the Mississippi River, they actually still have seasons for them, and they actually still fish for them. They can actually get over 7 feet long and 200 pounds. Paddlefish are the oldest living species of fish that we have in North America. They're over 300 million years old. They can date these guys back to the time of the dinosaurs. And when we dammed up all of our rivers, unfortunately, these guys lost a lot of their spawning habitat.
So in part to keep paddlefish from going the way of the dinosaur, groups are working together to restore the fish to Caddo Lake and Big Cypress Bayou.
Paddlefish were in this system at one time and they're not here anymore because of the river fragmentation.
Paddlefish evolved with seasonal flooding, so restoring more natural flows to the bayou was a first step.
In the springtime, during their spawning season, they need a high flow pulse to find their spawning grounds and to lay eggs in the fast current in the river.
The average Corps of Engineer dam is more than a half-century old, and the guiding plans for operating those dams have not been updated since they were originally built.
Really, for about 10 years, many groups have been working on mimicking these natural flows.
Lake of the Pines has done great as a flood control structure, kept Jefferson from flooding, provided lots of water supply for many of the cities. So now we're just asking them to add a third feature, which is releases for fish and wildlife.
To gauge how the fish respond to these releases, a transmitter is implanted in each fish at the hatchery.
Tag is in, and we will sew up the fish.
Fish and Wildlife Service, working with other groups like Caddo Lake Institute, the Nature Conservancy, the Corps of Engineers, USGS, Parks and Wildlife, they've actually implanted radio transmitters in 47 paddlefish, and they're going to release them and track them for about 6 months.
On the channel?
Right in the middle of the river.
So, the flow restoration, tower installation, and surgical procedures have all been leading up to this particular moment, as the transmitter-implanted paddlefish arrive at Caddo Lake State Park.
Go a little more. I think if we just put paddlefish back in the river with nothing else happening, chances of their success would be low. There are a lot of pieces to this project and a lot of different groups working on it.
Today we're going to release about 50 of them.
You do not forget them when you see one.
Amazing.
Yeah, all the incisions look good.
Everything's going great. The fish look really good.
They're going to find things to eat and they're going to grow and hopefully thrive.
One by one, paddlefish are reintroduced to the bayou at the state park and several miles upstream in Jefferson. No one can know if the fish will be lost downstream, if they will thrive or even survive, but hopes are high.
Oh, they're so excited.
It's really gratifying to see this day come. We've all been working at it for many years, and to see this release happen today, and it's just a good day for the fish and a good day for East Texas and Caddo.
It's been about 4 months now. Since the release, we've contacted 46 of the 47 fish. The towers that we put up, they've been doing the majority of the work for us. The idea when we go out in the boats is we're trying to find where those fish are between towers.
This is where we've seen fish before.
You never know.
With months to spread out over 60 miles of waterway, the fish can be tough to locate.
Yeah, we've gone several miles. We haven't heard anything yet. That's kind of how tracking goes.
Hours of searching may not yield a single signal.
But you know, not finding fish there is actually data also. For whatever reason that is, none of the fish are choosing that habitat at the moment.
Where paddlefish are being found is a bit of a surprise. Many have traveled as far as possible in the opposite direction.
The one interesting thing that we've seen is a lot of fish attracted by the flow coming out of Lake of the Pines have been identified as being present there at the spillway.
The unanticipated result was that half the fish went up to Lake of the Pines. We see little glimpses of things we think might be important, but in another 2 months we might go, well, this is why that happened, but now they're doing something else. So we've got a little snapshot of what the paddlefish needs, and we really need the bigger picture of what the paddlefish needs. We're about halfway done.
But as the tracking and data collection continue, it is already clear this cooperative effort will benefit more than just one fish.
I think the paddlefish is a means to an end. I mean, we like to see the paddlefish in here, obviously, but that in turn helps a lot of other species, a lot of other things in the environment, so it's a win-win.
It is also a win-win if one threatened fish can teach us how to better manage such a complex and beautiful ecosystem.
Caddo Lake has the most diverse freshwater fish species in any system in the state of Texas. All the other species that rely on natural river flows and good river habitat are going to benefit from this project.
It's just one part of a much, much bigger picture.
To learn more about paddlefish research or to track them online, visit caddolakeinstitute.us.
Hi, I'm Mike, and this is Carl, and today we're going to be doing a Creel Survey. We're looking for anybody out fishing in a boat. Once we encounter them, then we'll stop and interview them. How you doing today? We're with Parks and Wildlife. We're just conducting an angler survey.
We're with Parks and Wildlife. We're doing some angler surveys. Do you mind answering some questions?
Our creels on this lake are 4 hours each, so you got to be real careful when you get in this. The sections of the lake and the times that the creels are done are generated at random. We either go clockwise or counterclockwise that day. We'll do a flip of a coin to see which way we're going to go, and that's the way we go for the rest of the day.
How long have you been fishing today?
How long have you been fishing today? How long have you been fishing today? I guess I started this about around 6:45.
I've always been here about an hour and a half.
Hour and a half?
I started about 6 o'clock.
And how much longer before you finish, do you think?
How much longer?
Yes, sir.
Well, when it gets pretty hot, about 10 or 11 o'clock.
Okay.
I'm gonna try this, these pillars right here, and then I'm gonna quit.
It helps us keep in touch with what's going on in the lake. 1069.
Okay, great.
This is Claire, she's our summer intern. So we're teaching her how to do all this stuff.
You want to try it?
No. You go for it.
And what are you fishing for today?
Crappie.
Crappie? And fishing for what today?
Well, mostly catfish.
Catfish, okay.
What are we going after?
We started out with crappie, didn't do it was too early, then went to catfish, now we're going just now starting back to crappie.
So just put crappie down. With all that data that we compile, we can come up with a management plan on what to do for the lake, harvest regulations, size limits, getting funding for boat ramps. We get to see a lot of this lake. Everything's different every time you come out.
You never know what to expect.
Nothing's ever the same. Oh, I love my job. Beats sitting behind a desk and looking at the computer screen all day.
This project was funded in part by a grant from the Sport Fish Restoration Program.
This series is funded in part by a grant from the Wildlife and Sport Fish Restoration Program. Through your purchases of hunting and fishing equipment and motorboat fuels, over $50 million in conservation efforts are funded in Texas each year. And by Texas Parks and Wildlife Foundation, helping to keep Texas wild with the support of proud members across the state. Find out more at tpwf.org. Additional funding provided by Ram Trucks. Guts, Glory, Ram.